Well, thank you so much, Samia, for joining me today to enable us to share with the world a little bit about you and your journey so far with Kare Plus. It only feels like a couple of days ago, really, that we were speaking and going through the onboarding process. It literally feels so, doesn't it? It's just mad.
Time flies. I've learned so much in these 18 months, to be fair.
I'm sure you haven't. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that, to see if you're still the same Samia as when we first started speaking. I know we're obviously still in contact over other things, but I am really excited to get this case by case overview from you. So obviously I know what you did before you became a franchise owner. Just share with the world what your background was and how different it was from the healthcare industry as well.
Absolutely on the other side of the ocean. I was a business lecturer for Regent's University, teaching about 16 to 17 different business courses to undergrads and postgrads. I've been doing that ever since I was in uni myself. So I was a seminar tutor, an assistant seminar tutor for my undergrad, and then for postgrad I was also an assistant during the last year, the final term. And then I just got offered to be a cover for somebody. And then I never looked back, honestly. So I've been teaching for quite a while. I don't know, this just happened, really. We wanted to start a business, a family business. We've always wanted to. Me and my brother and my husband, but we were not really sure as into what to do, purely because we were all happy with our jobs and it was a big risk. But then, we've got family friends in this business. So we thought, all right then, we've seen them doing well, so let's give it a shot. And that's how, from one jump to the other, here I am.
So what inspired you then to get into the healthcare sector? Because I know that you entered into this with your brother, didn't you, in regards to seeking a new opportunity. Why was the healthcare sector the one that you chose out of every single option that was out there?
It's got an emotional connection to it, to be fair. My parents were looked after in their last couple of weeks before they passed away. So we had these absolutely amazing carers that used to come to look after them, and it was, we couldn't have done it without them. So purely on that intention, one day I was speaking to my brother and I said, if we ever start a business, I think it should be, something that keeps us intact with this emotional side of how wonderful this contribution to care is. And obviously being a business lecturer, I understand the maths as well, that, there's a lot of potential in terms of growth in this business. So yeah, these two reasons, these were the main reasons. And I can't stop saying this, but because we've got friends who've done really well in the healthcare industry, obviously, that really makes a difference, because it shows you first-hand experience of how much potential there is. So we chose healthcare.
I think it's really nice of you to be so honest about that, because especially when it's coming from an emotional aspect and something that's so personal, I think everybody that is on this planet today, they are going to have to come into contact with care at some point, whether it's for themselves or for a loved one. And given your experience of being a business lecturer, you're pretty clued up on what it takes to operate a business. So why was a franchise partner so important for you when you took this big leap?
I think that reputation really makes a big difference. We could just, there's now, sitting in Croydon for almost a year, I've realised there's dozens of tiny agencies everywhere. So there's, but the question is, how long do they last? That's one major question. I think with associating yourself with a franchise creates a reputation that you know, you don't have to build when you're starting a business on your own. So that's one main element of why I was always adamant that we will pick up a franchise rather than starting from scratch. Although, you know, when you pick up a franchise, you obviously are starting from scratch yourself as well, building it up. But because you're associated with a name, a brand that has been in the market for a while, it kind of then clicks and ticks the right boxes when you're going out and you're meeting clients. So yeah, purely because of that reason.
Okay. And did you look at other franchisors before you committed on Kare Plus?
We obviously did. We went to this business expo once or twice. I don't remember the names, but we did meet quite a few of them. But they just, you know, I said this before, they were talking, there was a lot of talk about clientele. There was a lot of talk about money making. There was hardly any talk about how to look after your staff, how to keep them happy. Your staff is your strength. And I think when we met you guys at Kare Plus, that was one of the main things, talking about how to retain, you know, maintain your staff database, how to look after them, what are the key elements, compliance, that you know, we cry over that now, don't we, because our compliance is so strict. But then, you know, in the longer run, that's what brings quality to the table, and I think that's something that's rare with other franchises. Yeah.
So is that what you would say then was the main draw for when you decided to pick Kare Plus as your chosen franchise partner, is because of the level of detail that we actually give to our workers, or would you say there was something more than that?
I think there was quite a few reasons. A, the level of detail, yes. The support in place, like for example, I have an RSM who is absolutely fantastic, Paul Stratford. I don't believe that things would be where they are without his support. And I think that's a plus point from Kare Plus. I pick up the phone any time of the day. I can, you know, ask for his advice. If I've got an emergency, I've got Jenny on the line to support, and it just works out. So these were the things that were initially promised to us, that we would have a support at back office that would just be very, very available. And I think that's one of the major reasons which gives you a bit of a, you know, it's a content feeling, thinking that you're not in this alone. You've got people who have experience and they would just sort of, you know, help you go through this venture. One of the main reasons was this, the support in place. And I've said this before, I've got family friends who are in this business. So when we were doing our research on what to do, how to do it, that support in place was fantastic as well.
That's really good to hear. So would you say that the level of support that's been given to you is one of the key benefits of having a Kare Plus franchise?
Yes, I would say that. I'll give you a few examples. We've got Chloe and Saran in compliance, absolutely fantastic. I had a problem with my NMC PIN logins a few days ago, where you need to do a check on your nurses' PIN numbers. It's quite of a headache, but you know, knowing that I didn't have those logins could have delayed my issue of badges, and Saran and Chloe were happy to help, whereas it's not particularly their job. Sean in IT, fabulous. So, you know, you see these little names come up because they've
the ice cream
in this
man.
journey. I'm coming to that. In this journey, they, you know, I know that I can depend on them for anything. And without Isabel, without Izzy, I wouldn't even be here, because remember, in the time when I was actually trying to get on board, it was a very difficult time at a personal level, and we had to delay things. I don't see it happening without having to be in contact with you continuously. So I mean, 5 stars to the support. That's what I can say.
So thank you so much for those kind words. It is really fantastic to hear that you could rate the support on such a high level, and I'll absolutely ensure that feedback is relayed. It's really kind of you to mention as well that level of support was so critical, especially at the early stages. I think that's what one of the major strengths in working with a franchise partner is. It's that collaborative approach to working and to support each other through the days where they are more challenging than others. You know, it is about taking the good and the bad in one fell swoop and helping each other through that.
Of course.
In regards to the startup package then, because obviously we do a lot of work with you in terms of marketing, and we also offer you that branding budget.
Yes.
Would you say that the branding budget and the setup support was also of benefit to you?
It was. The marketing budget, I think I made the most of it in terms of,
Yeah.
you know, you've got this whole perspective they've given you this platform where you can utilize that particular budget in certain ways that would benefit your particular territory. So we kind of played around it and we figured out what's going to work for us best. And yes, I would say that that's a fantastic idea. And we should keep that for future as well, because you're very new in the market, even with or without the experience that you have in healthcare. You don't know the market as such, and you know, things that have worked, they're ready for you to sort of use. And you know, well, I still use the pens and the folders, so I love them. I think they really make an impression. So yes, that budget that you have for marketing really does pick up one side of the business in a way which is needed the most. So it's a fantastic idea.
So thank you so much for giving us that summary there in terms of the marketing budget and how you found it to be of benefit, especially in the early days when a marketing spend is really critical, obviously to help you get your business off the ground. In your personal experience, what would be the advice that you would offer to someone that was looking at a franchise today based on your experience?
I would suggest that they should read through, they should research on the industry themselves. Keep your expectations very low. Do your own homework first, obviously, and then check out the support system that is in place for you. I mean, I think Kare Plus head office was open to questions, and as you said, you know, questions were going back and forth, and everyone had their own bits to answer, and everyone in that particular room was very open to give good advice. I remember Kate. I hope she's okay. I haven't seen her for a while. I remember Kate coming in and, you know, telling us very non-filtered way, and that that is the way I would want to know things. You know, okay, fine, it's an opportunity, but are you ready? Do you have what it takes? So I would advise to do homework yourself, and then also look into the benefits of having a support system in place, because I think that really does help. It helps you in a way where if you're not sure about anything, you know, you do have your RSM, you do have your admin or your IT or your compliance department to query, and they will sort of help you around. So yeah, just look at that really. I don't really know what much more I can say, because we were unsure when we walked into that open day, weren't we? But we went back with a lot of satisfactory elements in terms of the questions we had. They were answered, and I think that is a huge way. If they pick up a call and talk to you, I don't think they would have, you know, any disappointments.
Would you say then that a discovery day is definitely the best way that you could potentially look to explore a franchise, especially if you're unsure of what you should be asking?
Of course, I think I think in any industry, unless and until you go and physically visit the head office, know the people, talk to them, get the ins and outs. It's a fantastic idea, because you're sitting in the head office where, you with the right people, the people who are going to eventually be your support system. And that's your chance to ask the questions and get all the answers. So Discovery Day was a great idea. I haven't been to a lot of Discovery Days, to be fair. When you said that, have we looked into other franchises? We did, but the Discovery Days were not like that.